I'm Matt Gray, the founder and CEO of FounderOS. I run a portfolio of online businesses that do over $13.8 million in revenue every single year. In this video, we're going to cover the organic content funnel, which is the core system that is behind all of this success and something that I've spent the last 15 years perfecting. So let's dive in. Here is what we're going to cover in this video. So you may even want to get a pen and paper out because we're going to go deep on some core subjects that are going to be really important to you and your success this year. So I'm going to go over a brief intro so that you know what it's all about. And we're going to dive into the real thesis and the methodology behind the organic content funnel. The second thing is that we're going to dive into the best way to take your business from $0 to $5 million and beyond in 2024. So I'm going to give you the actual evidence. I'm going to give you real and recent examples, as well as, compare to other ways that you could grow your business so that you can see all the options and then understand what really makes the organic content funnel different. So first things first, here's why you should pay attention to what I'm about to go over here in this video. Right? You want to make sure that you're taking advice from people that are folks that you should actually be trusting to give you that advice, right? And there are 3 non-negotiables of advice giving criteria that I've learned from mentors who have hit 9 figures, 10 figures, and the people that really stand out to me as being the core mentors, my personal board advisors, the last 15 years building 4 profitable online businesses. And so number 1 is they must have reached the goals that you want to reach at least twice, okay? They must have helped people like you reach the goals that you want to reach, many times ideally, right? Ideally hundreds of times. And the third is that they're still walking the walk. They're not just talking the talk. As a founder, you're in the arena and you want to be taking advice from other folks that are in the arena with you, right? So that they understand the challenges, the bottlenecks you may experience, the key hires you need to make, the systems you need to implement. All of this is important, if you're going to go and accelerate your growth this year. And so here's a bit on who I am. So I've done what many of you are setting out to do. My first business, BitMaker, I started when I was 20. Over the course of 3 years, we trained over 2,000 software engineers, got them jobs at Shopify, Meta, Google, and that company was sold for 8 figures to General Assembly. After that, I went and created Herb, built that to over $8 million of ARR, 70% margin, a community of 14 million people. And what I'm most proud of this experience is that over the last decade of building Herb, we've built this into a hyper profitable community. And I only spend, as I measured last month, 47 minutes on this business every month. It is an automated empire, a self-managing business where all the core systems are on autopilot. We have tech that automates the business. And I've got a core team of legends that run that business in my absence. So I'm getting to collect the profits from it, right? Well, it essentially runs itself. And then FounderOS, is another business I've started about 1.5 years ago. And scaled that to over $6 million in under, 1.5 years. And, my mission there is to help 100 million founders just like you accomplish their dreams through proven systems. Now, I've also helped a lot of founders, like a lot, all right? Help folks like Ali Abdal, the founder of Productivity Lab, Steve, the founder of Pray, a community of 20 million people, Jay Cron, the president of Kajabi, a $2 billion course platform, Scott, founder of Classy, sold that for 9 figures. Christine, the founder of the 20-Hour CEO. Brett Adcock, a Figure AI, now a multi-billion-dollar company. Joe Montana, someone I've collaborated with. He actually invested in one of my companies. The legendary Hall of Fame quarterback. And Mark McLeod, the CFO of Shopify, a $50 billion tech company. The third thing here is what about right now? Well, I'm still using this exact strategy that I'm going to show you in this video, okay? I use it daily. My team uses it. My portfolio companies use it. It works. I'm still teaching this exact strategy that I show you in this video because it is bar none the most powerful system that you can install in your business if you are serious about achieving your goals this year. Lastly, I've hedged the entire future of my company on this core strategy I'm about to show you in this video because, it is that powerful, right? And it is the best path to achieving success. And so, let's dive in here, right? I've hopefully reached a few goals that you want to reach. I've probably helped people just like you reach the same goals that you're looking to reach. And I still practice and still teach, and I'm in the arena, building businesses using this exact approach. And so I'm excited to dive in. Let's get going here. So don't get me wrong, right? Entrepreneurship, it's not all roses and sunshine, right? We all know that there's ups, there are downs. That said, there are things that stay consistent no matter the weather, right? Things that we can always rely on, right? The reason I share this is because I know the road is hard, right? And I've tried just about everything under the sun. But what I'm about to share with you in this short presentation is hands down the best one thing any founder can build in your online business. So my core belief and the thing that I've seen come true time and time again, not just for me, not just for the founders I've mentored, not just for the thousands of founders that I've helped. I see this all over the place these days. The best way to build an online business is through your personal brand, right? People follow people, then they follow brands. And the future of brands are founder-led. And so now I understand what you might be thinking, right? I don't want to be famous. I don't want to be TikTok dancing. I don't want to, be worrying about content every day. I get it. And that's certainly not what I'm proposing you need to do here. So most people don't actually teach or do brand, right? They teach or do content. And there's a difference. So personal brand is much more important than content, okay? We live in an attention economy, right? People are being bombarded with information left, right, and center, right? And we also live in a massive trust drought, right? Americans are, worried more than ever, as an example, about whether they can trust a fellow citizen. And this trend is going on globally. People are just losing confidence in one another, okay? And this is an important thing to understand overall because it also represents a massive opportunity. In business, nothing builds trust better than a personal brand. And so right now, there is this unbelievable opportunity to build your personal brand, to scale your online business in a hyper profitable way using the organic content funnel system, which we're about to cover here. And yes, this is a lot more effective than things like paid ads, cold DMs, agencies, outsourcing, UGC, or blasting people with cold emails. I built Herb to an 8-figure beyond business, right, with a 70% plus margin. And I did all of that without spending a dime on ads. And the way I was able to do that was with this organic content funnel system. And so your personal brand is really the best way to build each core aspect of your business. We're going to cover all these right now. Number one, it's the best for your offer validation, so you can get trust at scale. 2, it's the best for client acquisition, so for lead generation and sales, which is the lifeblood of your business. The 3rd, it's the best for client experience. It's going to get people better results. It's going to get them to stick with you and increase your customer lifetime value. And 4th, it's the best for your internal team, not just onboarding folks, but also attracting folks to your company. And don't just take my word for it, right? I had a recent interview with Alex Hormozi just a few months back in Vegas, and Alex had this to say about building a personal brand and an audience around his portfolio of online businesses at acquisition.com.
If you're on the deal side, like for us, like investing in companies, we have so much more trust at the table. And I think Charlie Munger said trust is the ultimate lubricant for deals. Is like there's just you're both trying to make the deal happen rather than being competitive. And I think that just it's so much better as a process. Having been in both types of deals, very competitive deals, like white knuckle deals, and really friendly deals, way more fun to do friendly deals. And so those are kind of the pluses. And obviously you have an audience, so you can test things quickly.
So let's dive into the first pillar here, right? It is the best for offer validation, right? Again, trust at scale. So first off, an offer that makes you 10 to 50K per month isn't the same thing as a validated offer that actually can scale to 300K, 400K, 500K per month. With an audience from a personal brand, You can test much faster. It's essentially going and workshopping your product with a massive focus group of people online. This is going to lead you to success faster, easier, and get you to a solution at the end of the day that is set for scale, right? Trust is the ultimate lubricant for deals. And so you have your brand out there. People are seeing what you're all about. You're building trust. You're getting over the trust drought, and you're converting people, to your product. Maybe enough trust to close some deals, but you will likely get stuck at some point, right? If you don't have the right type of personal brand. And so, shoppers, again, these days, they want so much information before they go and actually pull the trigger on a sale. And so by putting your brand out there in a conscious, intentional, systemized, profitable way, you're able to then go and get people up the trust curve so they're ready to pull the trigger with you. And what you're going to see is that you're able to sell most people without even having to book a call. Many people are already persuaded to work with you, and they're just going to convert because they've already seen what you put out there. They like what you're about, they trust you, and they're ready to go. Now, second, right, similarly, is it's best for client acquisition, like your lead generation and sales, right? Imagine two scenarios here. Scenario one is after spending 60 seconds looking at it, a lead comes in from a source like cold email. Maybe it's from an outsourced agency, cold calls, or other cold traffic sources. They submit their information, they talk to a sales rep, but they're still kind of confused, right? At best, they maybe spend around 10 minutes getting to know you before the call. They don't see much from you though. They're still a little bit confused about what you're all about. They express some interest, but they're not super down in what you're doing. And now you have to do all this follow-up to try and get them to convert, to try and convince them. Your show rate on sales calls is brutal, 60% or below. And you're just constantly trying to go and sell these people, but they're just not convinced, right? And you're finding that despite your best efforts, you're just not hitting your business goals, right? But let's say you beat your 60% show up rate and then they come onto the call, right? Now all you have to do is get the person to pay you, a random stranger, right? With fleeting novelty. So, you've built very little relationship in this scenario. Now, scenario two is you post on LinkedIn as an example. Somebody shares your post because it resonates with them. A friend of theirs sees the post and starts following you. After seeing two more posts, they start to resonate with your overall message and vibe. They see you post a video to YouTube and binge 4 videos of yours. After the 4th video, they see your CTA and decide to hop on a call. They mostly show up because they've been following you for a week, watched multiple pieces of your content, and have been repeatedly thinking about booking a call. It's a decision to be there. So in scenario 2 here, you have someone that's basically a raving fan that is binging your content, that's consuming what you're about, understanding why you got into business, what you can deliver on. And by the time they hop on that call, they want to be on that call. You're not forcing them there. Your show rates are 90% and beyond, right? People are eager to go and buy from you because they've already watched a lot around you. They've got trust in you and they're ready to work with you. And so if they are the hottest leads, the only question is, how can you get enough of them now to profitably scale a legitimate online business? If you're in any of these industries, right, the answer is yes almost every single time, so long as you have some sort of fully cohesive, end-to-end, flushed out system. And that is what the organic content funnel is, right? It's going and building your audience, driving these people to your offer, and converting them to cash flows in a seamless, simple, and easy flow that's easy for you to install and it's easy for them to follow, which allows you to scale a repeatable system and hit your goals. And so the third here is it's best for client experience, right? The client who trusts you less, right, at the time of purchase is more likely to not engage with your product. They're probably going to ask for a refund. They're going to leave nasty reviews. They're going to hurt your team morale, and they're just going to take a lot of your time, right, which is brutal. Now, the client that trusts you more, these are like the dream customers, right? They're going to be proactive, follow instructions, buy your other products, have the highest customer lifetime value. They're going to create testimonials. They're going to refer their friends, and they're just going to be generally thankful to work with you because they trust you. They enjoy you. They're basically friends with you, right? And they're just going to take your word for it when you go and offer new products down the line. Now, fourth is it's the best for building your internal team. And this is something that a lot of people miss, right? Having the best team in your business is a competitive advantage, right? You want people that understand your ethos, your offer, your mission, your vision, your why. And this inevitably saves you tons of time on onboarding, hiring. Being able to track top talent from your personal brand is a massive level up, right? Here's Hormozi on that same podcast that I had with him saying something very similar and how this helped his portfolio of businesses scale to 9 figures and beyond due to this important aspect of building an audience.
You can attract talent at such a higher rate than you could otherwise. You can bring people on who already know your values, know what you're about, have already consumed more content than most people's employees currently know about them and their way of doing business. You can basically pre-train your entire team before they come on board because of the amount of stuff that you put out. And those are just unbelievably valuable things.
Let me also give you a real world example here. And so Founder OS recently, we were hiring a founder success manager. And so we put the word out there. And out of, a bunch of candidates, there was this one guy, Barrett, who really stuck out. Barrett had been following me personally online as well as Founder OS for a few months. And because he already liked our style, our offer, our mission, he loved what we were about, Barrett came into the first interview and he was already bought in and prepared as hell, right? Look at this Notion dashboard that Barrett created before the interview, right? He put all of this work in, right? Summarizing some of the core improvements he'd make in our content, to-do items based on the job description that we had sent. He made a whole 30, 60, 90-day action item playbook before the first interview. Pretty unheard of generally, but this is a regular occurrence. When you have a personal brand out there, you have a scalable content system that's building trust at scale. These sorts of things occur all the time. So let me ask you this. How much more effective do you think your hiring and onboarding would be if candidates showed up to the interview already excited by your brand? Once hired, you had a library of copy and videos from your brand that they could then leverage for training videos and to really understand what you're about so they could go and sell on your behalf while you sleep. And for 90% of the questions they have, you could just point them to different resources that you've made versus having to repeat yourself constantly. This is the power of systems in the organic content funnel. So how much more would you make, right? How much less would you need to hire? How much better would your retention be of not just customers, but team members? How much time would you save? And how much headaches would you alleviate? Well, what we've covered here, right, is a personal brand gives you massive leverage. It gives you a massive advantage with things like, number one, your offer validation, your client acquisition, your client experience, and then building your internal team. In conclusion, right, I want to wrap this up. Building a personal brand obviously isn't the only way to build your business, but in 2024 and for years to come, it's the obvious choice. And the cool thing is you get to choose. So let's dive in here, right? If you just start posting random videos or tweet random stuff, it's not going to work, right? Like we mentioned, you need a cohesive, intentional strategy that's authentic, systemized, and effective so we can build this into a hyper profitable cash machine. And so the best way to do this is with the organic content funnel. This is what we're going to cover inside of Founder OS. You should definitely go and follow these next steps. If you haven't already, go and book a call with one of the brand strategists at Founder OS so we can go and talk to you on that call a little bit more about the nuts and bolts of your business, understand you and your goals a little more. And then once we get a sense of the business, we'll explain how our organic content funnel system would look customized inside of your business. And then you can choose to have us implement the plan, or you can follow the steps on your own. So I look forward to seeing you on that call. Ultimately, if you are looking for the most effective way to build your online business in 2024 and into the future, and you want results similar to mine or the clients that I went over, be on this call. It is the best thing you can do for yourself in 2024. And so I look forward to seeing you there, and let's win together.